They say silence is golden. But what if I told you that silence has the power to break the strongest of egos, to dismantle the walls people build around themselves, brick by brick, without a single word spoken? In a world where everyone is shouting to be heard, where voices clash like swords in a never-ending battle, there's a hidden strength in choosing not to engage, in holding back your words. This is not just a strategy for winning arguments. It's a profound Stoic practice, one that goes beyond the noise and reaches into the very essence of who we are. Today, we're diving deep into the ancient wisdom of Stoicism, where silence isn't just the absence of sound. It's a powerful tool for personal transformation and reclaiming your inner peace. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover might just change the way you see yourself and the world around you. Before we dive in, if you find value here, please share this video with someone who might benefit. If you appreciate what we're doing, the simplest favor you can do is hit subscribe. Every second of this video is crafted to deepen your understanding of the silent power you hold, so be sure to watch till the end. Let's get started. The power of silence in conflict. Imagine stepping into a bustling public forum in ancient Rome, where debates aren't just about sharing ideas, but are spectacles of wit and verbal prowess. In one corner, amidst a swirling storm of heated arguments and raised voices, stands a Stoic philosopher, a figure of calm in a sea of tumult. Rather than jumping into the fray, he chooses a different path. He remains silent. This isn't a passive act, but a deliberate choice, embodying the Stoic belief that sometimes the most powerful statement is silence itself. The Stoics, known for their emphasis on inner peace and rational thought, believed that not every provocation deserved a response. By holding his tongue, the philosopher in our story isn't showing weakness, but strength. He demonstrates that one can choose not to be swept away by the emotional currents of disputes and disagreements. Now, let's bring this concept into our modern lives. Consider the everyday arguments that arise, perhaps during a team meeting at work or in a discussion with a partner at home. What if, instead of responding in haste or escalating the situation, we chose to pause and reflect? This moment of silence isn't about ignoring the problem, but about seeking a space for clarity and calm. It gives everyone involved a chance to step back, cool down, and approach the issue with a more composed mindset. Embracing silence in the face of conflict can transform relationships. It shifts the dynamic from one of confrontation to one of contemplation. It encourages all parties to consider not just their next words, but the impact those words might have. Silence can break the cycle of reactive responses that often do more harm than good in tense situations. This approach does not mean avoiding necessary conversations or suppressing important emotions. Instead, it's about choosing the timing and tone of our engagements more wisely. By integrating moments of thoughtful silence into our interactions, we cultivate a more thoughtful, respectful, and ultimately effective way of communicating. We learn that not every silence is empty, but can be full of purpose and potential. It's a powerful lesson from the Stoics that holds true across centuries, a reminder that sometimes the loudest message can be the peace of our unspoken words. Cultivating inner peace through silence. Imagine yourself at a silent retreat, nestled deep within a lush forest, or perched by a serene lakeside. Here, the only sounds are the gentle rustling of leaves and the distant call of a bird. In such settings, the absence of persistent external noise allows for an unparalleled form of introspection and self-discovery. Silence in this context becomes more than just a lack of sound. It transforms into a vehicle for profound personal growth. The Stoics, with their emphasis on mastery over oneself, recognized this potential. They advocated for periods of silence to foster inner peace and mental clarity, tools essential for building resilience and wisdom. This practice isn't merely about isolating oneself from the chaos of the external world, but about delving into the depths of the inner self. During such moments of silence, you are invited to confront your thoughts directly. Without distractions, our minds can clarify, sift through the noise of daily responsibilities, and focus on deeper, more existential questions. What are my true desires? What fears are holding me back? How can I live a more purposeful life? These questions can surface and find resolution in the clarity provided by silence. This practice of silent reflection can lead to greater emotional stability. By regularly engaging in this introspective silence, you start to develop a buffer against the stress and noise of everyday life. This doesn't just improve mental health, it enhances your interactions with others. When you are at peace internally, your ability to remain calm and composed in stressful situations improves markedly. Embracing silence can also cultivate a type of wisdom that is proactive rather than reactive. Stoic philosophy teaches us that the wise are not those who know many facts, but those who understand how to maintain tranquility. By making silence a regular part of your life, you train yourself to respond to life's challenges with a poised and considered approach. Silence in social dynamics. Picture this. Two friends are caught in a heated discussion about a contentious political issue. As the conversation intensifies, one friend, a follower of Stoic principles, decides to remain silent. This deliberate choice to withhold verbal engagement does something unexpected and powerful. It acts as a mirror for the other friend. In the silence that envelops the space between them, the ranting friend begins to hear his own words echoing back at him, unchallenged by counter-arguments or interruptions. It's in this quiet reflection space that he starts to recognize the gaps and perhaps the extremities in his arguments. This moment is transformative. It's not just a pause in a conversation, but a pause for introspection. Silence transforms from mere absence of noise into a dynamic force. It grants the speaker a rare opportunity to listen to their own voice, to really hear their tone, consider their words, and confront their own behaviors and biases. This scenario illustrates a critical point. When we choose to stay silent, we aren't just withholding our thoughts, we're providing others the space to encounter their own thoughts more starkly. This can lead to moments of self-realization that are both profound and unexpected. This reflective mirror that silence offers is not a passive experience, but an active one. It encourages those engaged in conversation to fill the void left by the absence of a reply. What do they see in this space? How do they interpret the silence? Does it frustrate them, or does it enlighten them? The answers to these questions can reshape dynamics and relationships, often leading to more mindful and measured exchanges in the future. Integrating deliberate periods of silence into our social interactions can thus serve as a powerful tool for personal and relational growth. It challenges both the speaker and the listener to engage more deeply with the conversation and with themselves. The next time you find yourself in a spirited debate or a challenging discussion, consider what might happen if you choose to respond with thoughtful silence. Could this silence help to bridge gaps in understanding, or might it provide a necessary moment for all parties to reconsider their stance? Engaging with silence actively and purposefully can open up new avenues for understanding and connection in our increasingly noisy world. The double-edged sword of silence. While silence is often celebrated for its strength and strategic value, it harbors a nuanced complexity that, if not navigated carefully, can lead to significant misunderstandings and even breed resentment. Consider, for instance, the tale of two friends, where a prolonged silence from one is interpreted not as thoughtful contemplation or respect for space, but as indifference or neglect. This scenario illuminates the delicate balance required in the effective use of silence within our interpersonal relationships. Silence, when misapplied, can act like a void filled by the anxieties, insecurities, and assumptions of others. In the story of these two friends, one's silence may have been intended as a peaceful respite or a personal need for space to reflect. But without proper context or communication, the other friend perceives this as a lack of interest or concern. Over time, this misinterpretation grows, seeding doubt and cooling affections, until the relationship finds itself at a crossroads, burdened by unspoken grievances and mutual misunderstanding. This highlights the critical importance of timing and context in the use of silence. Silence is not merely the absence of speech, but a form of communication that speaks volumes. Therefore, its application must be as deliberate and thoughtful as any spoken word. Knowing when to be silent is as crucial as knowing when to speak. For example, choosing silence in a moment of heated argument can be a powerful statement of self-control and respect, giving all parties time to cool down. Conversely, remaining silent when a friend reaches out for support or when an issue needs to be addressed can alienate and harm the relationship. Moreover, the effectiveness of silence should always be complemented by empathy and clear communication. It's vital to ensure that periods of silence are not perceived as emotional withdrawal, but understood by all involved as a thoughtful pause. This might mean prefacing a period of silence with an explanation, such as saying, "I need some time to think this through properly, but let's revisit this conversation tomorrow," or even acknowledging the silence directly afterward to clarify one's thoughts and feelings. Incorporating these nuances ensures that silence remains a tool for enhancing understanding rather than an unwitting catalyst for confusion. It encourages us to be as intentional with our non-verbal cues as we are with our words, fostering deeper connections built on mutual respect and understanding. Mastering the art of silence. Mastering the art of silence is not just about learning when not to speak. It's about embedding quietude into the fabric of your daily life to enhance mindfulness, reduce stress, and deepen self-awareness. Integrating silence can transform ordinary moments into opportunities for personal growth and tranquility, following the Stoic philosophy of inward reflection and self-mastery. One of the simplest yet most profound practices is to introduce mindful pauses during conversations. Before responding in discussions, take a brief moment to reflect on what has been said and consider your response carefully. This pause not only allows you to gather your thoughts, but also gives you space to respond rather than react, leading to more thoughtful and less impulsive communication. As Epictetus once advised, don't be hurried in your speech or involved in things unnecessary to your purpose. Establishing specific hours at home where silence is observed can create a sanctuary of peace for all household members. During these quiet hours, engage in silent activities such as reading, writing, or meditating. This practice not only cultivates a calm environment, but also reinforces the value of quiet reflection. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "People look for retreats for themselves, in the country, by the coast, or in the hills. There is nowhere that a person can find a more peaceful and trouble-free retreat than in his own mind." Transform your daily commutes into periods of silence. Instead of filling this time with phone calls, music, or podcasts, try to sit in silence, observing your surroundings and letting your thoughts flow freely. This practice can serve as a transition period that helps you prepare mentally for the day ahead or unwind after a busy day. Seneca's words resonate well with this practice. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Regularly schedule walks in nature and commit to completing them in silence. This exercise is not only physically beneficial, but also provides a great opportunity to connect with the environment and practice mindfulness. Being in nature and observing its quiet yet vibrant existence can be incredibly grounding and calming. As Aurelius wrote, "Look at the stars lighting up the sky. No one of them stays in the same place." Commit to periodic digital detoxes by setting aside electronic devices and enjoying the silence that comes with disconnection. This can help reduce the constant noise of notifications and digital demands, allowing you to focus more on your immediate environment and on introspection. Through these practices, silence becomes not just a momentary pause, but a lifestyle choice that enhances your capacity for introspection, patience, and tranquility. Each step, deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, encourages a life where silence is not just practiced, but lived. By embracing these quiet moments, you engage with the world and yourself in a more profound and peaceful way. The role of silence in personal relationships. In personal relationships, silence can serve as a profound tool for healing and guidance, aligning well with Stoic principles that emphasize control over one's reactions to enhance interpersonal dynamics. Imagine a situation where, during a heated exchange, instead of countering a partner's critique with a knee-jerk reaction, an individual chooses to embrace a moment of silence. This pause is not a void, but a space for reflection, allowing the individual to gather thoughts and respond with greater empathy and understanding. This approach to communication, where one opts for reflection over reaction, can profoundly affect the quality and depth of personal connections. By pausing to consider their words carefully, individuals demonstrate respect and consideration for their partner's feelings, fostering a more supportive and understanding relationship environment. This kind of interaction encourages a reciprocal response, where both parties are more likely to approach conversations with the same level of thoughtfulness and care. Moreover, engaging with silence can help partners avoid the pitfalls of escalating conflicts. Often, it's not just what is said, but how it's said that can inflame a situation. Silence can help break the cycle of rapid emotional exchanges, providing a cooling-off period that might lead to more constructive and less confrontational dialogues. In practice, this could mean taking a deep breath before responding, allowing both parties to express themselves without fear of immediate censure or rebuttal. Stoicism teaches us that the wisdom of knowing when to be silent can be as important as knowing what to say and how to say it. This wisdom can be particularly beneficial in personal relationships, where emotions run high and stakes are personal. Silence, when used judiciously, becomes a strategic pause, signaling care and consideration, allowing for clearer, more compassionate communication. By integrating deliberate silence into conversations, individuals not only manage their responses more effectively, but also promote a relationship culture where listening is as valued as speaking. This not only enhances the individual's capacity for empathy, but also solidifies the relationship's foundation on mutual respect and understanding. Such practices underline the Stoic belief that true control in relationships comes not from dominating the conversation, but from understanding when to speak and when to listen. The role of silence in professional environments. In professional settings, the strategic use of silence can be a powerful tool to convey confidence and authority, fundamentally altering the dynamics of interactions and meetings. Consider the atmosphere of a typical business meeting where dialogue is often non-stop, with participants eager to fill every pause with words. Now, imagine a scenario where a leader intentionally employs silence, after making a significant point or when faced with a challenging question. This deliberate pause allows the message to resonate more deeply with the audience, giving everyone a moment to truly absorb the implications of what was said. Such a practice does more than just command attention. It reshapes the flow of communication. When a leader uses silence effectively, it can signal confidence, suggesting that they are comfortable with their statements or decisions and do not feel the need to incessantly justify or elaborate on them. This can make the leader appear more thoughtful and composed, qualities that inspire trust and respect from team members. Furthermore, strategic silence can encourage participation from others. In a meeting where a leader consistently fills the space, others may feel there is little room for their contributions. However, when a leader pauses intentionally, it opens the space for others to step forward. This not only fosters a more inclusive environment, but also promotes a culture of collaboration. Team members feel more valued and are likely to be more engaged when they see that their input is not only welcomed, but encouraged. Moreover, silence can serve as a tool for managing and diffusing conflict in the workplace. During heated discussions, a moment of silence can act as a reset button, giving everyone a chance to calm down and collect their thoughts, which can lead to more rational and less emotionally charged exchanges. It provides a pause that can help prevent conversations from escalating into arguments, fostering a more measured and considerate interaction style. Incorporating strategic silence into your professional repertoire requires mindfulness and practice. It involves recognizing the moments during a discussion when pausing could be more impactful than adding more words. By mastering this skill, leaders and professionals can enhance their communications, improve team dynamics, and create an atmosphere of respect and thoughtful engagement in their professional environments. Silence in society and culture. In society and culture, silence carries a profound significance that transcends mere absence of sound, impacting social dynamics and expressing collective emotions in ways that words often cannot. Silence is woven into the fabric of communal experiences, serving both as a tool for political expression and a mark of deep respect and solemnity. Consider the powerful silence observed during moments of national or cultural remembrance. These silences are not empty, they are dense with memory and respect, honoring those who have suffered or passed away. Each second of silence represents a communal reflection and a shared history, binding participants in a solemn solidarity that words might disrupt rather than enhance. This practice shows us that silence, in these contexts, is a universal language, capable of expressing grief, honor, and collective memory with a clarity that transcends linguistic boundaries. Silence also plays a pivotal role in social and political movements, where it is used not just for reflection, but as a form of protest. Silent protests have been a powerful method of demonstration, where the absence of sound strikes a stark contrast against the cacophony of daily life, drawing attention in a way that is both peaceful and profoundly impactful. The quietness of a group standing in determined silence can highlight a cause, underline a demand, or challenge an injustice without a single word being spoken. These moments harness the power of quiet resistance, demonstrating that silence can speak louder than chaos or violence. The impact of silence extends beyond specific events and into the realm of cultural norms and communication styles. In many cultures, silence is an integral part of communication, used to convey agreement, disapproval, or deep thought. It is respected as a space for contemplation and decision-making, allowing individuals to form thoughtful responses rather than reactive replies. This cultural use of silence can influence interpersonal interactions, where understanding and navigating these pauses can be as crucial as the words exchanged. By embracing the multifaceted roles of silence in society and culture, we recognize its capacity to convey complex messages and evoke solidarity among individuals. Silence, in its deepest essence, is an active force, a pause that speaks, a quiet that resonates, and a stillness that moves. It's a dynamic and powerful element of human interaction that shapes our understanding of the world and each other in profound ways. In the quiet moments of reflection, we find the loudest truths about ourselves. Silence, as the Stoics taught us, isn't merely the absence of noise, but the presence of a profound understanding. As you carry forward the lessons learned today, remember that your power often lies not in the words you speak, but in the silence you keep. Thank you for joining us at Stoic Journal. If you're eager to continue exploring the wisdom of Stoicism, please watch one of the suggested videos on your screen now. Your journey towards inner peace and wisdom is just beginning, and we are honored to accompany you on this path.